All right, everyone. I hope that we're well. Hope everyone had a good month. I've been battling a little bit of a cold, my first one in 2 or 3 years, so it's been a miserable last few weeks. But let's go ahead and get you guys into some numbers and see how the market did. So, from 329 sales down to 234 sales. Yikes. Down 28.9% year over year. Definitely not the greatest number to look at. Even if you look month over month, from 253 down to 234, down 7.5%. Kind of some scary figures. I will find a little bit of saving grace, hopefully, for some of you sellers. If you look at the blue line I put in there, it's the amount of new listings that came out. So year over year, if you look at 725 new listings that came out February of 2018, down to 553 new listings that came out February of 2019. So that's down 23.7%. So if I'm going to find a silver lining for the sellers, it's going to be that hopefully fewer properties are coming to the market and we can start to chip away at this inventory. I didn't put a whole lot of focus on that blue new listings line, but I think going forward here, it's something we're going to have to watch to kind of get an early barometer of where the market's going to go. But certainly, to have 234 sales in all of Fort Lauderdale is quite alarming. No way to slice it. That being said, as always, different segments of the market, right? If you're in the low dollar price range, these lower sales don't mean anything to you because most of the sales took place in that lower dollar range. So, going to depend what price point you're looking at. So keep that in mind. Average price per square foot. Look, we're pretty much level, right? I mean, that's a tight range over the course of the year. It's where things seem to have settled. Whether you look month over month, year over year, doesn't really matter. We're right around that low 3 number, no matter how you slice it. So something to pay attention to, as always. Not something I put a ton of stock in. Don't really want you guys putting a ton of stock in it either, but good thing to know where it's at. Good thing to take a look at. Median pricing. Again, use this as a general barometer. Don't put a ton of stock into it, because a lot of it depends on the price point that you're looking at, but this overall feel of the market, right? You look, our median pricing's down $298. So from 3.25 down to $298 year over year, down 8.3%. Again, can't say it enough times. Kind of take it with a little bit of a grain of salt here. But I think what it shows, or what it should illustrate to you, is kind of what we've been saying the last few months. Sales on the lower end are really on fire right now. It's going to drag the median pricing down a little bit if most of the sales taking place are on the lower end. Sure, we're in a different marketplace where occasionally we get that $7, $10, $12 million sale, which kind of pulls everything up. But for the most part, all the activity taking place on the lower end, it's going to flow through to median sales. So take note of it. But again, depends where you are in the market. Average days on market. This, if you're a seller, this is something I think you can see as good news. Look, so what you really want to see if you're a seller is fewer days on market, right? You want to know that your house is going to sell, your property is going to sell relatively quickly when you put it on market. Now, of course, as I tell everybody again and again, this is only the time that it's spending on market. This doesn't account for your time of closing. So this is the number of days that a property was active on the MLS before it went pending sale. It doesn't account for the time it took to get financing, to get to closing, et cetera, et cetera. Look, this is where I think it's a little bit of good news. February 2018, there was 88 days on market. Fast forward, February 2019, 91 average days on market. So, despite slowing sales, or despite a lower number of sales, what has remained constant is the amount of time it's taking to sell your property. So, again, if you're a seller, even though the market slowed a little bit, if you were priced well, it seems that you still followed through and found a buyer in that 90-day span. So take it again. All depends what price you're at in the market, right? If you're on the higher end, 200-300 days, not even remotely abnormal right now. If you're on that lower end, 10-12 days on market, not that abnormal. So just know where you are in terms of price point. And of course, if you have questions, call me about that. Months of inventory. Those of you that have been with me for a while know this is really the one that I look at more than any other. Well, maybe except for the first slide, the number of sales. But this is the one that I really think just gives you a quick gauge of where we are in the market. 6 months would favor neither buyers nor sellers. Less than 6 months favors sellers. More than 6 months of inventory favors buyers. And you look, man, we've been on a straight uphill climb for a number of months here. So the only thing that cures this is more sales. That's the only way that we bring inventory down. I don't have a whole lot of tidbits of information for you for this month. I was kind of out of the game. I apologize for that. Was feeling under the weather for a couple of weeks. The questions that I got mainly revolved around, is it still a good time to buy for investment? Answer as always is yes, but it depends what you're buying. I get that a lot. First-time home buyers, getting a lot of questions from that crowd about where I think interest rates are going to go. Should I do it now versus doing it later in the year? I think right now, given the amount of inventory that's out there, if you're a first-time home buyer, I would really be shopping. I think it's a good time for buyers and sellers. If you're on that lower dollar range, I really think it's a good time to get a property on the market because that segment of the market continues to just churn right along. So those are my little things for you. Sorry about the cough. I hope everybody has a good month, and I'm sure that I'll be rid of the cough next month. Take care, everyone.